Start letting people in. I'm nervous. Be nice, okay?
Yep. Make sure you're on Facebook.
I am. It says we're live on Facebook.
All right, so we're live on Facebook, live on Zoom. Welcome everyone. Let's wait for everybody to jump on. We'll give it a minute or two. Okay. All right, so we're waiting for a few people to jump on. Let's see you. All right, so we're about to start right now. See here, let me change my view up because I can't see everyone. I just see a few people, which is kind of weird. All right. We'll give it one more minute. Can you see the entire gallery, Vanessa?
No.
You can only see a few
I have,
people.
yeah, at the top.
Oh, the rest, yeah, the rest are none videos. Let's get some videos going. If you're on here, I know you're beautiful.
I can remove you as a pin too, and I think that'll let you view more people too.
Yeah, let's see your faces. Gives me energy. 6:30 p.m. PST. Thank you, Jacob. Appreciate you. We are 6:30 p.m. PST. I am live from Mexico City, and that's why it's so dark out here. It's a little bit darker, a little bit later in the day. Okay, so we'll get started. Welcome everyone. We are live, and this is the Monopoly, how to play Monopoly in real life, which is really cool because today we've been tracking a client that I've known since a kid and who's been buying real estate since 2013. So we've been tracking his results over the years, and it's pretty phenomenal what I'm going to share with you guys tonight. I'm excited to share it with you. And I'm Voltaire Lepe, and this is my co-host Vanessa Lomeli. Um, so we're gonna walk you through this tonight. And again, if you just jumped on, feel free to share your beautiful faces, turn on your camera. Let's get some energy going. All right, Vanessa, if you want to go ahead and start the presentation. Thank you, Claudia. See you driving out there. All right. So in case you guys are interested, you can take out your phone and just scan for the full calendar of events this year. Topics include tax benefits of owning real estate, how to buy your first home, selling 101, buying with military benefits, budgeting your way to $1 million. I really like that one. ADUs for beginners. That's pretty cool. So feel free to just scan that and sign up. That way you guys in the future could always attend our workshops, and they're free. And all right. And Bolu said that her and her baby aren't feeling well. That's why camera's off. All right. Hopefully you guys feel better. Thanks for joining. All right, Vanessa, if you want to go to the next one, please. All right. We really, really want to do a good job for you guys. And if you guys could leave us a review at the end of this, if you guys feel that we did a great job, so that'll help us. That'll help our careers as real estate agents and future workshops. That'll be super helpful. Thank you so much. We want to go to the next one. This workshop tonight is brought to you by everyone at Lepe Tendwell Group and eXp Realty. So these are all the agents. You probably got invited by one of these agents. Please thank them after for inviting you because you're going to get a lot of value today. And just reach out to them, say, hey, I enjoyed the workshop. Thanks for hosting me, and just let them know that you learned something today. So thank you guys. All right, let's go on to the next one. All right, so I'm the host. My name is Voltaire Lepe. Here's a little bit background about myself. Born and raised here in San Diego. Well, there in San Diego, in the Logan Heights area. I started real estate when I was in high school in 2002. I'm a full-time commercial and residential real estate broker and a full-time property manager. And the office right here, we have over 30 sales associates now. We've taught hundreds of families, and I've taught financial literacy to youth and adults, ages 7 all the way up to 60 and older. I've given away hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I became a self-made millionaire at the age of 32, 14 years after I started real estate, and I've already reached a retirement level. I do not need to work anymore because of the rentals that I have. I have 54 tenants currently paying me rent on a monthly basis. And I've done big deals and I've done small deals. So that's a little bit background on myself. And that's why I'm uniquely qualified to teach this class. Vanessa, if you want to let people in, I see people are waiting in the waiting room. All right. So let's go on to the next one, please. This is it. This is what you guys been waiting for. How to play Monopoly in real life. We're going to go over it because this definitely excites me. And if you guys remember the Monopoly game, right? Hold on a second. Just if you want to stop sharing the screen real quick, that way I could explain this real quick, Vanessa, and then we could jump back in it. All right, so Monopoly. Who here has played Monopoly? I'm assuming. Okay, looks like everyone almost. Christopher. Oh yeah, I see your hand. All right, cool. So everyone in here has played Monopoly, and the goal is to get the big hotels, correct? And you start off with the little houses. And remind me that the little houses are green, correct? Green? And the hotels are red? All right. So I'm going to teach you guys tonight how to go from the little greenhouses to the red hotels. And the way that you start is with one greenhouse. That's all you need. And I'm going to show you how one of my clients, one of my buddies who's a plumber, started one greenhouse, ended up with multiple. I'm going to show you how I started with one greenhouse and I ended up with hotels. It's really cool, pretty interesting. So that's what we're going to learn tonight. And Vanessa, if you could go ahead and begin again. There we go. Perfect. So this is it. I was texting with a trust attorney years back. His name's Pablo. And I said, hey, good morning. What's that thing you told me that there's only 2 ways to become wealthy? One is owning a business and the other one is real estate. He says, correct. Unless you get lucky enough to win the lottery, marry rich, or inherit the money. So guys, there's really only 2 ways, and this is from a trust attorney, that he's seen people build wealth. Number 1 is owning a business, or number 2, through real estate. And of course, inheriting money or marrying into money. So if you want to be rich, you got to pick one of those 4. And I'm assuming you're focused on number 2 out of these 4 options tonight. All right, good for you. All right, Vanessa's saying I want to inherit money from who? I hope you're thinking that you want me to die. All right.
No, I'm waiting for, I don't know, someone to say that they're pretending that I'm poor.
All right. All right. So let's move on to the next slide, please. Actually, this is a video of my family. They're fishing. Damn. And just caught a bass right there on my lake. This is a lake that I own here in San Diego. Well, there in San Diego, in Alpine area. I wanted to share this video, and you guys can hear me, right? Shake of head, yes. Okay, perfect. Thank you. And I want to share this video because my brother, my nephews, my nieces, my whole family's there fishing, and it's a 30-acre lake house that I own in San Diego, private lakes. And that's what I ended up purchasing last year. Why? Because I was able to play Monopoly in real life. That got me to a point where I was able to provide a really cool house for my family. so they could enjoy, we could have fun, we could share memories. And I think everyone that's on here, it isn't just about the money. Yes, everybody wants to be rich, but what's the purpose behind being rich? So you could have and enjoy moments like this one that I'm sharing with you now, or travel around the world like I am right now, in a really nice hotel, I must say. But that's the reason, because it gives you freedom and it allows you to just build connections with your family and your friends. Let's go on to the next one, Vanessa.
Mhm.
All right. So today's goal. Today we do have goals. So if you have a notepad, you know, I want you guys to take notes. Number one, I want you all to apply the following steps to your life and live the life of your dreams. Number two, I want you to call, text, or DM me one day or your favorite realtor at Lepe Tendwell and say, hey, you helped me live a better life. So that's the reason why we're sharing. That's why we want to just um, teach you guys how to play Monopoly in real life. Let's go on to the next one. The formula. So today we're going to talk about the plumber. Number two, how to build a team around you. Number three, finances. Number four, income. Number five, mailbox money. Number six, I'm going to tell you how I made my first million in real estate. Number seven, how to identify a deal, which we might or might not cover depending on time. And then we're going to talk about what's your number? What's your retirement number? Why are we doing this? Number nine, we're going to talk about comfort. And then centimillionaire advice. That's somebody with over $100 million, what their advice is to make money. Let's go on to the next slide. First, let me tell you about my friend, a plumber. Um, Actually, exit out here. Just let me address everyone real quick, Vanessa. So I have a friend. I've known him since I was a teenager. He's a plumber. He might be on here. He might not. If he is, don't take this the wrong way, okay? But he isn't like a genius investor or genius, financial guru. He's a normal guy, and he's really cool, lots of fun. Some people might give him the adjective of a clown, because he's always clowning around, having a great time. He did one thing right, and that's because he had a family, he decided to buy his home instead of renting. And then after that, he did a few more things that were correct, and I guided him through it. And you're going to see his results in a bit, but it's just mind blowing. So really anyone could do this. And, I've had him on here before on the Zoom, and he's talked to everyone, and he just said, man, like, I don't know what I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing, but it's worked out. So let's go back into the plumber example, Vanessa, please. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, he was doing this on the salary of a plumber. All right. Property number one. So he bought this property. It's a small little property in Logan, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, small, 782 square feet. As you can see there, it's like a very tiny, humble home. He purchased it for 223, and this was in 2013. If you want to put your mouse over that 2013 number, there we go. And then the down payment. This is what's important. The down payment, he didn't need 223,000. His down payment was $7,800, guys. So this was his home. He moved into it, and he started living there. Now, in 2017, 4 years went by. He said, you know what? My family's growing. This is a great house, but it's just too small for me. So in 2017, he refinanced and he pulled out 50,000 cash to buy his second home. And he kept this one and he rented it out. His monthly payment on this one after he pulled out his $50,000 is $1,750 a month. That includes principal, interest, tax, and insurance. The rent today is $2,575 a month. So the difference is $825. Not only is it paying for itself, but he's putting a little bit of money in his pocket every month, and the equity on it is $427,000. And this is the really cool part, which we're going to learn about tonight just a little bit. It's called ROI, return on investment. And this looks crazy because you might associate this return on investment with buying Apple stock 30 years ago or buying Google stock 30 years ago, but this is a real number, 5,470% return on investment on this home. And we're going to take out the calculator in a bit, and we're going to show you how to do that. But this is his plan for the future for this house, to convert the garage into an ADU and rent it out for $1,800. By the way, that's been the plan for the last 2 years. So if you're on here, hurry up because we've been talking about this for a while. You got to go ahead and pull the trigger and do that. All right. So that's his first home. Remember, he lived in it for 4 years. His family grew, and then he pulled out $50,000. It's called the cash out refinance. The bank allows you to borrow money against your own property. And let's go on to the next slide. So he has $50,000 in his pocket. He goes and he buys this property number 2, over in Encano. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. It's bigger. It's for his family. He purchased it for $435,000. The price went up, right? So you start with a smaller one, you buy a bigger one. The down payment on this was $15,000. If you want to put the mouse around that, $15,225. Again, he used a first-time buyer program, which you could use time and time again. You don't just have to use it one time. You can use it multiple times, which is really cool. So out of those 50,000 he pulled out from house number 1, he used it to buy house number 2. So in 2017, if you want to go through the highlights on the right, he bought it for 2017. Again, he started playing Monopoly for the first time. He refinanced 4 years later in 2021. So he lived in there for 4 years. By the way, if you live in your home for in San Diego for more than 5 to 7 years in San Diego, you are losing money big time. Losing money. Okay. And I'll tell you more about that in a bit. Now, his total monthly payment on this was jumped. It went to $2,450. Did it make him nervous? Yes. Was he comfortable? No, because his payment just jumped to $2,450. But he has a job, so he did it. Now he refinanced. Sorry, he rented it out. This one, he moved out. He rented it for $3,650. The difference is $1,200. That's a good difference. And then his equity is $316,000 on his property, and his return on investment ROI is 2,075%. We're gonna go over that in a bit. What's his plan? To move into it after retirement. So apparently he has a soft part of in his heart for this property. He likes it. He wants to move in it after retirement. I'm gonna convince him not to. Okay, just so you know, if you're watching, I'm gonna convince you not to do that because I think you can make more money other ways. All right, let's go on to property number 3. Property number 3, he moved out in 2021 and he moved into this property in 2021. Sorry, in 2019. So let's go back real quick to the last slide. Okay, so we
Wait.
the last slide. Go back there. There we go. So this one he refinanced 2021, but he moved out in 2019. Sorry. So in 2019, remember, he out of the 50,000 he pulled out, he used 15,000 on this home. He had another $35,000 left. Let's go. So in 2019, 2 years later, he only lived in here for 2 years. Let's go on to property number 3. This one he bought with 27,000. Now, where did he get this money? 27,000. Well, he refinanced property number 1. Remember, he had $50,000 in his bank account. He purchased this property for $537,000, and it was in a better neighborhood. So again, over time, you want to move into better homes, better neighborhoods, bigger homes, better neighborhoods. And he used 27,000 again, first time buyer program, 5% down to purchase this. So on the right side, we see that he purchased it in 2019, and then he sold it 2 years later against my advice. But he sold it 2 years later. He made a profit of $162,000. That's a return on investment of 600%, right? And then he sold it to buy property number 4.
Move to the next one.
Yes, please. So he bought this one. It's a new build. He bought it, again, better neighborhood, bigger. This was a brand new build. He bought it for this time, as you can see, his down payment's going higher. He put $63,000 down. Why? Because over the years, him and his wife were working, saving up money. You could borrow from your 401k at any point to buy a home. And this, he said, hey, I want to put 10% down, 63,000. That's what he did. He purchased it in 2021. The value of it today is 927. The equity in it is 298,000. The return on investment is 473%. So I'm going to show you guys real quick how to do return on investment. That way we're all on the same page. Go back to the last property number 3. And if you could do me a favor, take out the calculator so we could all see it.
Calculator.
There we go. All right, I can see it. All right, move it out of the way from that box. Put it right in the middle. That way I can see the box. I can see both
Which
boxes
box? Oh, okay.
with all the numbers. Just drag it.
Can you see both of them?
There we go. Perfect. All right. So the way you figure out return on investment, guys, because this is important, ROI, is you take the profit, which is in this case $162,000, and then you divide it by the down payment, the investment, divided by $27,000. 27 equals, and then you multiply that by 100. That's the formula. By 100. There you go. 600% return on investment. That's really hard to do. That's really hard to do in any other investment, the stock market, anywhere else. It's hard to get a 600% return on investment. But in this case, he got it. Cool. All right, let's go on to let's
Just
pick
for
up
anyone who's taking a note, is the profit. Can you do the formula again? The profit
the profit
divided by the down payment,
divided by the down payment equals, and then you multiply that by 100.
and then to turn it into a
And we're gonna do it
percentage.
one more time. We're gonna do it one more time, Vanessa. So just go back to the slides where we picked up, where we left off, and then that we could just go into that.
Okay. Where were we, Mallard?
Yeah.
Okay. You're gonna
All
do it on
right.
this one?
No, no.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
go on to the next slide. So this is a plumber's future, and this is where he's at right now. Total equity between his properties, including the one he sold, is $1 million, $41,000. Total gross rents that he's receiving from those two properties where he's not living is 74,700 annually, gross. Okay, that's gross. Total investment. Remember, he started with that first home. He put $7,805 down. That's a beautiful thing. So he turned $7,800 into $1,041,000. So take out your calculator, Vanessa.
Can you guys see it?
There we go. We can see it. All right. So now what we're gonna do? We're gonna take the profit, 1,041,000, and then we're gonna divide it by the formula, which is the investment, which is 7,805, equals, and then we multiply that by 100.
Multiply it.
By 100. That's a 13,337% return on investment. That's insane. So, Mr. Plumber, if you're watching, that's your return on investment so far by investing a measly $7,805, which back then was a lot to you, right? And then you divide that by 11 years, divide that by 11, Vanessa, and that gives you an annualized return of 1,212%, which is crazy. Now, the future for Mr. Plumber, now we could get rid of this calculator and just go back into the presentation.
Sure. Sorry.
All right, so now the future for him is very simple. We're using 5% compounding interest annually, okay, for the next 20, what is that, 27 years? So we're saying in 27 years, he's going to pay off his mortgages, or better yet, the tenants are going to pay off his mortgages. His future gross equity, if we just add 5% annual as far as increase, which we know San Diego has been way more than 5% over the past many years. But we're just saying 5% future gross equity. He's going to turn that 1,041,000 today to 3.8 million by the year 2051, 27 years from now.
Is that
Or
assuming he's not making any other purchases?
that's assuming he's not making any other moves. If he makes more moves, he's gonna make more money. Future gross income, okay, annualized, he's gonna make 278,000 a year. That's gross though. And then if we take out the expenses of 35%, his net income in the year 2051, when him and his wife are ready to retire, it's gonna be 181,000 a year. That's $15,000 a month for the rest of his life. plus his property, he's gonna have $3.8 million in equity, almost $4 million in equity from those properties. That's the beauty about playing Monopoly in real life and investing into real estate. Can you exit this real quick? I just want to address everyone again.
So he turned the greenhouse into the red hotels.
He definitely turned the first greenhouse in the hood into red hotels. Now, he could turn it into a lot more, but again, he's not making moves for investments. The only reason why he's been making moves again is because he's been living in the homes. So imagine if he took my advice because he's scared because he has a good thing, doesn't want to mess it up. Imagine if he took my advice in number one, he shouldn't have sold that property a couple years ago. But number two, he starts trading some of these homes for hotels like I'm going to show you how to do right now. You know, he'd be in a different ballpark. But most people don't do it because again, they feel comfortable. They're just like, man, as long as my rent's being paid and you know, I don't want to rock the boat and etc. So the first example I gave you, the plumber, was just somebody who's not investment minded, which is going to be most people. But I wanted to show you that you could definitely make some moves even as somebody who not even think about the investment. You just want a nice home to live in. So if you want a nice home to live in, you could definitely make it happen by using, just like him. He used primary residence financing, first time buyer financing, which is the best. And then number two, he didn't stay in his home for more than 5 years at any given point, right? It was 2 to 4 years. And I tell people all the time, if you've lived in your home for 5 years to 7 years in San Diego, you're losing so much money. You're playing it so safe. And um, and I always tell a story about my grandfather. You know, he paid off his home. I used to make the payments for him as a kid. And I remember the last time that I mailed the last payment for his house, we all celebrated. He was very happy. And when he passed away, he did an amazing thing. He left a home for his heirs, paid off. But if he had someone like myself advising him throughout those years, he would have left his heirs 100 units in San Diego. But again, he didn't know. Nobody ever taught him. And he just had one goal, was to pay it off. All right. By the way, if you just joined, please, if you can, let us see your faces, your beautiful faces. Gives me energy. There's 37 of us online right now. And I need the energy right now at this time.
I
All right,
have
so
a question. So
go
before
ahead.
I share the screen, we have, just to clarify, did he qualify for all those other homes that were more expensive, or was there a different way he did it?
Beautiful. Thank you for asking. He qualified. He had a regular plumber job. The way that you qualify, great question. For a bigger home, is the bank's gonna add whatever rent amount you're gonna rent your current home for to your income, allowing you to qualify. So let's go back real quick to property number one for him, Vanessa, because
Okay.
this is great question. Thank you for asking. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. All right, here we go. So this property, look at the rent, 2575. That's what it is today. When he moved out, it wasn't that high. But the way it works is the bank takes the rent that you're going to receive, the future rent for this property, 2575, then they multiply that by 75%. Take out the calculator real quick, Vanessa.
Mm,
So if he was to qualify for a mortgage right now, the bank would look at his 2575 in rent, 2575, and then they would multiply it by 0.75%, which is 75%, equals no, no,
Oh,
no, no. So again, just do
it's my keyboard.
2575
2575
times 75%, however you want to do it,
times 75%.
equals, there we go. So this is how much they would add to his income. Do that times 12. So when he applies for the mortgage, guys, they would add $23,000 a year to his income, allowing him to qualify for the next home.
So if he makes 75,000 a year, this would be added to
Yeah,
his.
exactly. So if he made $77,000 a year at his plumber job, this would push him up to $100,000 to qualify for that next home. And the beauty is, again, you could use first time home buyer, or let's say primary residence financing. Everyone says 2 years, but technically you could do it every 12 months. Every 12 months you could qualify for for a primary residence financing with a low down payment, 3% down, 5% down, and they give you preferential rates. That's the beauty about doing this. So again, if you live in San Diego and you've had your house for 5 to 7 years, you're losing money. You got to make some moves, get uncomfortable. All right.
Francisco just asked, what about the 100 mile for FHA?
Francisco is asking a technical question about loans. You don't have to use FHA the second time. So if you notice, he used conventional 5% down, and then his last purchase was 10% down conventional. That's still primary residence financing with preferred interest rates, which is amazing. Okay, great question. All right, let's move on. Does anybody have any other questions about our plumber friend?
So we covered that one, right? Or in this one.
All right. So that's an example. This is what you have to do. It's very simple. Step two, is you have to build a team around you. So you need a good lender, a good accountant, a good financial advisor, a good trust attorney, a good real estate attorney. This is long term. All you need right now is a solid realtor, right? Whoever invited you to his workshop, that's all you need. And then they'll introduce you to a good lender. They'll introduce you to a good accountant if needed, or a trust attorney, or an escrow officer, or a title rep, or an insurance agent. So don't overcomplicate it. Eventually, when you start playing Monopoly, you're going to have all these people. You're going to know all these people. And this is who's going to be on your team. But for now, all you need is a good realtor that's going to introduce you to all these people. All right, let's go to the next one, please. And by the way, one big thing I missed. Go back real quick. On the right side, in black bold, Vanessa, must own and believe in real estate investing. The last thing you want is to hire a realtor who does not believe in real estate investing. The last thing you want to do is hire a lender who does not believe in real estate investing. And I'll tell you from experience, I made this mistake. I had a lender for the first few years of my investment career who did not believe in real estate investing. And because of that lender, not because I made the decisions, ultimately it's on me, nobody else. But I was discouraged from buying real estate, from getting loans. And I don't want that to happen to anyone here. So whoever invited you here, we all believe in real estate investing and real estate ownership. So you're in good hands. Let's go on to the next one, please. Okay. Must have characteristics of everyone on your team, including your realtor. They must answer your phone calls or return your calls within 24 hours. They must have a track record of wanting to build a real estate portfolio. They must have a can-do attitude. They must be willing to share openly. They must love education. They must want you to win. All these characteristics, everyone here at our office shares. We all share these characteristics, and we all are into ownership. We all love it, and we all want to just continue to grow. All right, let's go on to the next one. All right, this is the finances part. I won't go too much into this because we do have a workshop that we do called how to budget your way to a million, which covers all this. But you got to pay down your debt. If you're looking to get a new car, think about it 3 times. Don't think about it twice. Think about it 3 times, because cars are the biggest thing that prevents people from being able to qualify for mortgages. But pay down and pay off all your credit card debt, all your consumer debt, definitely right away. And then anything above 8% interest rate, you should be paying off. All right. The next one is save. I'll take it easy on you guys. 20% of everything you earn. So 20% of your paycheck, save it. That's going to help you out a lot over time. Create a personal monthly budget and stick to it. And we have one that we could provide and share with y'all, created by Dave Ramsey. And then the top right, carry 2 credit cards, max. You don't need 3 credit cards, 4 credit cards, 5, just 2. The way that I built my real estate investing career and the plumber, 2 credit cards. That's it. You don't need more than that, and that'll help you with your credit. And then 4 bank accounts max. If you're an entrepreneur, you need one for the IRS, one for your business checking, one for your savings, one for your checking, for your spending, personal spending. If you're not an entrepreneur and you get paid a W-2, you just need 2, a savings and a checking. That's it. All right, let's get on to the next one. The good news is you don't need to make $1 million a year to buy property. You just need $150,000 annually, and you're in a good position to purchase a property in San Diego and begin to play Monopoly. Okay, it won't happen overnight, but as long as you make ballpark 150K, you're in a good position, right? Maybe as low as maybe 125,000 annually, but that's without any debt. All right, let's go on to the next one. Mailbox money. This is how you earn it. Okay, on the left, we have fallacies. Some people say just work harder, or I need to double my income. You might need to double your income if you're making 70,000 a year. How do you double your income? You get a partner, right? You buy with your spouse. Hopefully you make 70,000, your spouse makes 70, and you're at 140. Some people think it's too late for me. I'm too old. Time has passed me by. That's not true. And then the other fallacy is living in the past. I should have bought in 2008. Guess what? I tell myself the same thing, right? And the plumber tells himself the same thing, but or he could tell himself the same thing, but he doesn't tell himself the same thing. The reality, you must live below your means. You must have patience. You must reinvest your income always. And your money must have money babies. We just went over this yesterday at our stock, coffee, and cash. Bank accounts are useless. We need to invest our money, even if it's $250, so they could have money babies over time. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the Monopoly pyramid. This is how we do it. You start off with your primary home. That's how you play Monopoly, your primary home. So you shouldn't be renting. In this environment, you add an ADU, Vanessa, right? You have your primary home, and then you add an ADU, just like the plumber. He's been talking, and the plumber's been talking about building an ADU for 2 years. He still hasn't done it.
Me too.
Right? I've been giving Vanessa that advice for more than 2 years. She still hasn't done it. So there's one thing knowing what to do, and there's another thing called taking action.
I said be nice. I said be nice during this workshop.
And being nice. Look, I have a smile on my face.
You're right, though. You're absolutely right. Do not be me, guys.
Number 3, investment home. So after you buy your primary home, after you build yourself an ADU, then you buy your investment home, right? Meaning you move out, you buy a primary home that's bigger and better, and then you turn your primary home and your ADU into an investment home. Okay, that's what I mean by that. And then the 4th step, then you can start buying multifamily, and then you start buying commercial over time. Okay, this is how you do it. All right, let's go on to the next step, please. We got 23 minutes. So this is how I made my first million and why I invest in real estate. Reason number 1, there's 6 ways to make money through real estate. Most people just think there's one way. And whenever I ask anyone, hey, what's the one way to make money through real estate? Say rents. Okay, they got 1 of 6. Number 2, appreciation goes up over time. Number 3, inflation, cost of goods and services goes up over time, which is different than appreciation. I made a lot of money because of inflation over the last few years. Actually, Vanessa, should we take out the calculator real quick just so we could kind of get an idea of how much money I made last year just off of inflation?
Sure.
In the chat, can somebody put in what inflation was last year or the last 12 months? Just a guess, doesn't matter. And Vanessa, just put ballpark my real estate portfolio, put $20 million. I'm rounding it. 20 million times, all right, in the chat. Somebody give me an answer. What was inflation? Ballpark. You could Google it if you want. Okay, first let's calculate appreciation. How much did I make off of appreciation? It went up 7% last year, the market. Do plus 7%.
I did times. No,
Do plus 7%. 1.4 million. So that's from not doing nothing. That's just from owning $20 million worth of real estate. That's appreciation, guys. All right, let's clear it. Let's do 20 million. Okay, Jackie Forbes, thank you so much. She has the answer, 4.1%. Do plus 4.1%. Plus 4.1% equals 820,000. So 820 plus 1.4 million, do plus 1.4 from appreciation. And we all know it's more than 0.4%, right? But it is what it is. Now I just made $2.22 million from appreciation and inflation. That's a joke. I didn't do nothing. Now, everyone who owns real estate made similar numbers, right? But the more real estate you own, the more money you make. So, Vanessa, with your house, that's what you made. You made, 4% off inflation and 7% on appreciation, right? But your portfolio is smaller than mine. All right.
smaller.
So let's exit out of that calculator. Thank you. All right. So the fourth way is principal pay down. That's when my tenants just pay the principal of the loan every single month for me down. Number 5, interest deductions. I benefit from those interest deductions. Number 6, depreciation, which, by the way, guys, depreciation makes me a lot of money. We're not going to go into it now, but our next coffee and cash, we're going to be talking about depreciation. So if you'd like to join our next coffee and cash in person, second Wednesday of every month at 8 a.m. for 1 hour. So set something up so your kids get taken to school by somebody else and you could come and learn about depreciation. All right, number 2, why I invest in real estate is leverage other people's money. Could somebody type in the chat their favorite stock? Just any company, doesn't matter. Their favorite stock. Costco. Thank you, Jackie. So if you wanted to buy Costco stock, $1 million worth of it, how much money do you need of Costco stock? If you want to buy $1 million worth of Costco stock, how much money do you need to invest? I'll wait. Anyone? $1 million, Francisco. Thank you. All right. So you need $1 million to buy $1 million worth of Costco stock. You trade it. In real estate, the beauty is other people's money, aka leverage. To buy $1 million piece of real estate in San Diego, you need $35,000, 3.5% FHA loan. That'll get you there. It's a beautiful thing. So now you control a big piece of asset for very little money. Reason number 3 why I like real estate is I recycle the down payment over and over and over, aka refinance. So I turned my first 50,000 into $1 million. I'm going to show you how I did that right now. Let's go on to the next slide, please. All right. My first million. Here we go. I bought this property in 2014 in El Cajon. Bought it for 200,000, which back then was good. It was a good deal. It wasn't a steal because it had a bad tenant. It was messed up, and it was probably worth about 245,000 to 250,000. So, anyways, I had $50,000 saved up, 25%, and I used it and I bought it 50,000 down. And on the right side, Vanessa, purchased in 2014. I refinanced it in 2015, a year later. So the bank called me a year after I owned it and they said, "Hey, Voltaire, would you like to borrow some money?" I said, "Sure. How much you want to let me borrow?" They said 70,000. I said, "Great." So they let me borrow $70,000, which is basically my 50,000 that I put into it. I held it for 2 years. Let's go on to the next slide. So then I bought property number 2. This property in Logan, bought it for $230. Again, it had a messed up foundation. It needed a lot of work. I bought it for $230, which again, I think the market back then was maybe $270-ish. And this one, if you look on the right-hand side, top right-hand side, I purchased in 2015 with the money from property number 1. So again, I used my same 50,000 that the bank lent me. And a year later, 2016, the bank called me on this one. Vanessa, what do you think the bank asked me a year later in 2016 when they called me?
If you wanted to borrow some money.
Yeah. They said, hey, do you want to borrow some more money? I go, yeah, how much you want to let me borrow? This time they let me borrow $125,000. So they cut me a check for 125. I put it in my pocket. And then what did I do? I went on to property number 3. Go on to the next slide.
Wait, so you aren't gonna cover what you're doing to this
Yep.
one?
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Okay. This is the basics, guys. Okay. So I took that 125 and then I bought this property. This is in Logan. It had a bunch of tenants doing drugs. I had to go in there, clean it all up, get them out of there some way, somehow. I bought it for 239. Again, the value of this one was about 270 back then. I put down $47,000. Where did I get the 47,000 from? From the bank, because they had let me borrow from property number 2, 125,000. So I'm recycling my money over and over. So on the right hand side, it says purchased in summer 2016. And then what did I do? I found property number 4. Let's go back. Let's go to the next one. Property number 4. And I'll go back to this. So this one I saw, and this guy sold it to me, and it was like falling apart, literally falling apart. I needed money. What did I do? I called the bank. Okay, they didn't call me this time. I called them. And I said, "Hey, look, I want to buy this property. I need the money, 120,000 plus 100,000 to rehab it." And they said, "Okay, how much you need?" I said, "I need all of it." They go, "Okay, cool. We'll let you borrow the money. Just put up property number 2 and property number 3 as collateral." So I did. I signed the note that where they let me borrow $220,000, and in return, they had secured a lien against property number 2 and property number 3. So I bought this one in 2016. Top right side, Vanessa. This is the first time that I used permits to add square footage to a property. And then in 2017, a year later, guess who called me, Vanessa?
The bank.
The bank. They said, "Hey, do you want a loan against this thing and do you want all your money back?" And I said, "Sure." Right? So now let's go on to the next one. So now I have 4 single family homes in San Diego. And then I find this thing on the multiple listing service. It was 4 units. If you want to highlight the top, 4 units, 2 bedroom, 1 bath each. So now I look at the rents, right? And this at the time, each one was renting for $1,500, so $6,000. And I was renting property number 1 for $1,795. So I traded property number 1 for this property. I traded $1,795 in rents for $6,000 in rents. Now it's paying me $10,800 a month, this property. And actually I think even more because I built something on the back. But anyways, I bought it for $630 and I spent $150,000 to rehab it. I currently have $973,000 in equity on this one. Let's go on to the next slide. So now I start paying Monopoly. I start trading houses for hotels. This is considered a hotel because 4 doors. The next one's considered a hotel because it's 5 doors. So this one's 5 units. So if you want to highlight that part, property number 6. So it's 5 units. And I bought this one for 1.1 million. Where did I get the money? I didn't have $275,000. Are you crazy? That's nuts. What did I do? I played Monopoly. I traded property number 3. Go back to property number 3 just so they could remember how it looks.
Which one was 3? 1, 2, 3.
There we go. I traded this property. I sold it for $515. And I traded for property number 6. So basically all I did was sell property number 3. I wired in the money from property number 3 to this property for the down payment, and which is about 300,000 in equity.
Right here.
Yep. And then go to property number 6, and that's it. And I traded 1 rent for 5 rents, $1,800 a month for $8,200 a month, guys. So again, I'm playing Monopoly now. What's the difference
Sounds
between?
scary, right, guys?
It's very scary. And I was going to ask you, what's the difference between me and the plumber? Is that the plumber doesn't want to make any of those moves. He doesn't want to start trading, right? And yeah, somebody asked an exchange. It's called a 1031 exchange. 1031. And that's what I did. I did 1031 exchanges, which means trading. I started trading properties one for another. But again, if you feel comfortable and confident with your situation, you don't want to do it. I didn't want to do it for years. I held on to my properties for way too long before I started trading. If I would have started trading sooner, I would have made more money. All right, let's go on to the next one. 9 years later, really 10 years later, but you know, that property I bought, I have my own billboard now. That's not me on the billboard. That's my buddy who rents the billboard. But I own a corner with multiple units. So on the right-hand side, just a quick overview. In 2014, I invested $50,000. I used leverage, aka loans, to purchase good properties at under market values. I kept refinancing my cash out of those properties in order to buy more. And that original 50,000 turned into approximately 2.9 million, which now it's over 3 million. And guess what? With other cash funds I saved, I repeated this method with other properties and built up more than $9 million in equity. Okay, so I just repeated this process over and over. There's a quick question in the chat. Let me see what it is. Are you getting your properties appraised after each renovation to be able to determine? Yes, but not because I want to, just because the bank requires it. Whenever the bank loans you money, they require appraisals. So that's the only reason why I got appraisals. All right, let's go on to the next one. All right, so we only have 10 minutes. So I'm not going to tell you how to identify deals because your realtor could show you that. But we use, go back real quick. I just will mention real quick what we do use. We use cap rates, price per square foot, GRMs, DCRs, IRRs. You don't need to learn these to get started because again, your realtor, whoever invited you, could teach you all that, or it could run scenarios for you. Let's go on to the next one. But you do need to identify, properties. All right, let's skip that. Let's keep going. Price per square foot. Let's keep going. All right. Golden rules. These are my golden rules, and I never want to break these. Okay. Once I break these, I could get in trouble. Dues. Always buy based on the tenants paying all your monthly payments. This is if you're playing Monopoly, like the way I'm playing it, turning houses into hotels. If you're doing it like the plumbers, start there, and then over time, all these rules will apply. Second rule, run numbers using several of the above rules of thumbs to make sure it pencils out. Your realtor does that for you. Number 3, always bring all inspectors to the property. Home inspectors, plumbers, roofers, termites, contractors. Again, your realtor takes care of that. And then trade properties via 1031 exchanges when equity permits. Generally, you can trade your properties and double your doors every 7 years. So again, if you've owned your home for more than 7 years, you're losing. Even though, yeah, technically you're winning. All right, don't.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Refinancing to pull money out to move up, like the plumber situation, could be between 12 and 4 years. That would be like the
As soon as equity permits.
as soon as
As
equity
soon as
permits.
equity
He was
permits,
doing it like every 4 years.
he was doing it
Plumber.
every 2 to 4 years.
And
Out of
then
necessity, because he
trading.
didn't know. Go ahead.
Trading is no more than 7 years or
Yeah,
at about.
as soon as equity permits, and and that's why you need to do annual reviews with your realtor. Once a year, you talk to your realtor. Hey, how much is my property worth? How much equity do I have? And do I have any moves right now? And then your realtor will tell you. But if you live in your home, you shouldn't be living in your home for more than 5 to 7 years. So why? Because between 5 to 7 years, that's usually when there's for sure enough equity to make a move. And then you move out, you keep it in a perfect world, do an ADU, rent it out, and then you got yourself a new home and you use low down payment programs. That's the benefit of that. Okay. Don't never buy based solely on speculation, aka appreciation. Number 2, never use hard money unless it's a steal and the exit plan is foolproof. Number 3, never flip your real estate. You'll make more money long-term holding the property. And number 4, never evaluate a deal based on Airbnb rents. It must pencil out as a regular rental. All right, those are the rules. We got a few minutes. Go on to the next one, Vanessa,
I
please.
have a quick question. Would you refinance a low rate of 3% to buy more property?
If I'm gonna pick up more rent, and if I'm gonna add more value to my portfolio, yes. If no, then I'm not touching it. All right, good question. Number 8, what's your number? How much monthly cash flow do you need to retire? And this is going back to where we first started, living a better quality life, enjoying more time with your friends and family. How much money do you need a month? For example, let's say you want to highlight that part, Vanessa, you need 10,000 a month to live comfortably for the rest of your life. What you do is this: 10,000 a month times 12 months, that's 120,000 a year. And then you use this formula, investment rate formula. Vanessa, just take out a calculator. Everybody sees you do it. That way it's, so move it to the right. Thank you. 120,000 a year. That's what you need net income to live comfortably. And you divide it by 5%, 5 and then percent equals 2.4 million. So your number is 2.4 million. What does that mean? You need at least 2.4 million in equity, or 2.4 million cash, or 2.4 million in net assets for it to shoot off $10,000 a month in income. So you got to ask yourself that question, guys. How much money do you need to live comfortably? And then do this formula. And if your number is 2.4, or if you double that, 20,000 a month, it's 4.8 million. Guess what? That 2.4, that 4.8, or whatever your number is, it has to be on your wall. You have to be looking at it every day. You have to say, okay, I have to save enough money and invest enough money over time to get to that number, whether it's in real estate or the stock market. That's the number. All right, let's go on to the next one.
That's a good one.
Yes, find out what your number is. Comfort kills. If you aren't investing in real estate, you're too comfortable. If you have a good thing going on with a renter or two, or a house paid off, and you don't want to rock the boat, you are too comfortable. And right there, William Burroughs, famous author, said, when you stop growing, you start dying. So comfort kills. And I was at a point where I had 5 single family homes in San Diego, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna touch this. I have a great thing going. I'm never gonna, I don't need to do nothing for the rest of my life. I'm just gonna let them pay for themselves. Well, guess what? I would have been doing what my grandpa did, and instead of leaving one home, I would have left 5 homes to somebody. But now
To
I'm
the
at,
zoo.
what was that?
To the zoo.
To the zoo, exactly. So now I have at least 54 rentals I'm leaving behind, and it's gonna be even more, right? Over time. All right, let's go on to the next one. All right, so this is my future. So you have an idea. 2024, I have 54 doors. I'm adding another 21 doors right now via ADUs, which is a different class that we do. ADUs, accessory dwelling units. I'm building them in my backyard. So let's say 6 years from now, I trade 61 of those doors and I double my portfolio to 122. And then 7 years after that, I go from 122 to 244. 7 years after that, 244 to 488. 7 years after that, 488 to 976. Okay. So that means I'll have 976 doors by the age of 68, 28 years from now. Each door, I net $460 a month net income, on average. So 976 times 460 net, that's $448,000 a month in rents, just in net income. So 450,000 a month, that's more than enough to live off of, right? And then I could obviously help a lot of people with that, charities, etc. Now, on the top right, it says the average door today in San Diego is worth about 300,000. I want to venture to say in 28 years it's going to double to $600,000 a door. So my portfolio 28 years from now is going to be 976 units times $600,000 a door equals $585 million portfolio. And then let's say I take home after loans 25%, which is low. I'm just being conservative. That'll mean that my net worth based on my real estate only is going to be $146 million. That's how you create wealth, is you start doubling and play Monopoly in real life and doubling your doors every 7 years. All right, we have a few minutes, so let's go through the next couple slides. billionaire advice. I have a client mentor who real estate portfolio is over $1 billion. And I said, hey, look it, I'm talking to people about financial literacy and I'm going to teach them um, how to build wealth. What's your number one rule? What's one advice? Thanks, Vanessa, for blowing it. I was building up to it, but read. He said, read. And I was like,
A time crunch.
and I was on the phone with him. I said, read what? And he says, just read. And he hung up. And the point of that is, he's right. All this stuff that I'm teaching you right now, you can learn by reading. You don't need to jump on a Zoom. I'm glad you did. But everything that we need in life, we could get by reading and learning that way. So that's the number one advice. And then the last couple slides, Vanessa,
Couple of books.
couple bucks. Could take some screenshots of that. Dave Ramsey, Automatic Millionaire, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Next one. Questions and answers. Let's go to the last one before we go to questions and answers. Again, scan this. You'll get the full calendar for the rest of the year. And please leave us a review. Scan that. Find us on Google, on Yelp, on just go online, just type in Lepe Tendwell Group and your favorite realtor and just leave us all a review because we definitely would appreciate it and it helps our business so much. And then lastly, if you want to follow me on social media, I do have a channel for realtors, but I teach a lot of business stuff on there. You can follow me there. And you can learn how to grow your money and grow your business at the same time. All right, Q&As.
I have Gio.
And you could exit out of here so that way I can see everybody's face. There we go.
I have Gio. He asked, my friend's asking if she could do the same thing by starting off with a condo.
Yes. Condo, townhome, houses, multifamily. You can start off with whatever you want. Whatever you could afford, start off there. Great question. Next
What other
one.
questions do we have? You guys can unmute yourselves or you could type it in the chat. Whatever you prefer. No questions?
All right. If there's no further questions, I'll just leave you with, it's possible. I just gave you 2 examples today, the plumber and myself, but I have several more. I've been dealing with clients for the last 20 plus years, and I've seen multiple clients grow from one property to multiple properties, from a okay life to a great life.
Gio asks, what kind of things should people be reading? So Voltaire suggested The Automatic Millionaire.
Yep.
The Total Money Makeover, which is a proven plan for financial fitness, and Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Jacob asked, will this soon be available to rewatch? Yes. Within a couple of days, we upload it to our YouTube channel. There is a section for all of the workshops that we've hosted, and it's a pretty neat and extensive library that you guys are going to be able to rewatch this stuff from.
Yes. Yeah. Follow us on YouTube. So again, it's a formula, just like any other math formula. It works. You just have to take action and do it. And it's scary, but
I just texted the ADU guy to just get it started, guys.
Good.
So I did it.
There we go.
Gotta do it.
Go back to the calendar. Okay.
What's the second book mentioned? The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey.
Yeah. And if somebody asks if you could go back to the calendar so they can scan the calendar. Yeah. Jump on all our future workshops. They're free. Some are in person. Bring a friend with you. My whole thing is this. I feel really good when I inspire people. I think inspiration is huge. If you could be the person to inspire one of your friends or family members to build wealth for themselves, that's valuable. They'll never forget you. Just like I'm never going to forget some of my mentors that taught me about this and who inspired me because they shared. And that's why I'm sharing. It's not normal, I think, to be able to share, hey, this is my financial situation. This is how many properties I own. But I do it because, again, I want to get those text messages, those phone calls, those emails years from now saying, hey, I attended one of your workshops and I got inspired and it changed my life. And guess what? You could change somebody's life too. Bring a friend with you. You know, don't keep this to yourself. Invite them to these workshops, invite them to coffee and cashes, and then we will see each other soon. Thank you guys.
Really quick idea, you guys can take a screenshot if you're on your phone. I know in an iPhone, once this saves into your camera roll, you can hold down on the QR code and then it goes automatically, like it gives you access to just click on it to go to the site. It's pretty neat from the iPhones.
Cool.
All right. Thank you guys for joining. Reach out to your realtor with any questions, and we are glad that you spent some time with us. Thank you, Voltaire. Have a
You're
good
welcome.
night.
Good night.
Bye.